Let's see the headline. Israeli official was caught. If you're not familiar with the story, because Brandon hadn't looked into it too much, because it is, it's a very low vibrational story to read about child predators and stuff. It's not necessarily the most enjoyable content, but Israeli government official charged with soliciting 15-year-old girl in Las Vegas for sex. I didn't put that in the headline. Now, what's disturbing about this case, and I think why I get frustrated and why other people are getting frustrated, is the fact that people like Brandon Straka, people like yourself, a black man, get persecuted all the time. Me as a white man, never. But I'm saying people get persecuted all the time. Actually, I take that back. I'm getting persecuted in New York, so I misspoke. Yeah. My point is, people get railroaded for much less. Now, this guy was trying to have sex with a child, which is arguably the most repugnant crime you can commit. And he was able to leave the country. And I'm in the bail bond business. When you have a client that is a flight risk, usually they would take away their passport, or the bail bondsman to say, listen, you can't travel internationally, because he has to be back in court allegedly on August 27th. So I see what I call a two-tier justice system where certain people don't have to follow the same laws that I follow. And that frustrates me as an American citizen, seeing somebody, a foreigner, come to our country and get treated better than an American citizen. So the little bit you know about this story, what do you think about it?
Well, my initial thought when I saw it, I was like, he works for the Israelis, so I thought he was supposed to be bombing kids, not fucking them, That was my first initial thought.
Me too.
But then when I look at it, it is like, yeah, of course, for Trump, he's just making it look so much like he was part of Epstein.
He does. I know.
Like every step he takes is just like.
You're actually really smart with saying that, Deontay, because this would be a good way to get some goodwill with his supporters by going after this pedophile. But now you're not giving us the Epstein stuff, and then you're being soft on an actual pedophile. It's starting to create a pattern, and that pattern is very noticeable, even if you're not trying to notice it. So I guess what I'm really frustrated about, though, is that the U.S. State Department, said that they didn't intervene in this. They should have intervened. They should have intervened and said, your ass is staying in Las Vegas. I hope, don't drop the soap, buddy, because you're about to get it right in the keister like you wanted to give it to this 15-year-old girl.
He was bombing this kid with dick pics.
I'm sure he did. That's the thing. It's like the body cam footage. Are we going to be able to get that? And now they're saying there's issues. He was arrested in a sting with 7 other people. There's 8 total people arrested. And now there's all kinds of information, whether it's true, false, we don't know, but where potentially they may go easier on these other 7 pedophiles in order to make the whole investigation, defunct, basically, so that this guy gets off the hook. Now, there's a lot of speculation that this might happen, and if it does happen, I am going to protest. I'm going to go to an AutoZone and light it on fire, and that's my right as an American citizen. So this is what the State Department said. They said the State Department is aware that Tom Alexandrovich, and an Israeli citizen, he's more than an Israeli citizen. Already right there, they're full of shit. And he's not just an Israeli citizen. He is the executive director of Israel's cybersecurity division, who works in lockstep with X in censoring pro-Palestinian content. That's not a conspiracy. That's a fact. If you ask Grok even said 90% of the requests that their cybersecurity division makes that they follow. So they are taking people's livelihood, kicking them off the internet, if they say, I don't want a child to be bombed. But why should I be surprised about this when in reality, like you said it best, Deontay, if they're willing to kill a kid with a bomb, I guess raping them in the bomb is not as bad, right? I mean, if you have to compare the two.
Wait, so he worked in cybersecurity?
He's the head he's Benjamin Netanyahu's right-hand cybersecurity director. I mean, he works his office is underneath his purview, Netanyahu's direct purview. He is an employee of the Prime Minister of Israel. This is not just an Israeli citizen. He is much more than that, you lying faggots at the fucking State Department. And I'm a little pissed. I mean, am I okay to get pissed?
No, you have all the right to get pissed. And you know what? I'm going to join you in this protest. And I'm going to give me another TV.
Yes, we are. And we're going to get more than a damn TV. We're going to get a car this time.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Well, actually, a car you can't transfer the title. That's actually a pain. But regardless, we're going to steal a lot more shit this time. So, I mean, we can sit here and talk until we're blue in the face about this, but this should be an issue that it should be a bipartisan issue, just like the Epstein release. And I'm actually kind of happy that they're going to give us, they say, more transparency with the Epstein, and it was actually passed bipartisanly, I don't know if that's even a word, but both sides were like, hey, we both want it. And it's funny how the left is all like, oh, we want the information now, when they had 4 years where they could have exposed Donald Trump or whatever. So I guess for me, we are being lied to by the United States government when it comes to the Epstein files, and maybe they'll give us transparency, but the transparency is going to be redacted, so we probably really won't know if Tom Hanks is on there, sticking Woody dolls up Puff Daddy's anus. But what we do know is the government has a two-tier justice system. And if a man commits a crime and he's an American citizen, he's going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But if you're a cybersecurity director for Benjamin Netanyahu and you get arrested for being a pedophile, you get a first class or business class probably ticket. Well, Jews are cheap, probably coach to Israel. So I don't think that's okay. And I'm going to continue to talk about this. And I'm actually going to be in Las Vegas soon. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to talk to some important people about this. And I'm going to confront them and say, this is not okay, because I don't believe pedophiles should be walking on the street. Lord knows this guy is doing who knows what in Israel. And did you know this? In Israel, they don't have a sex offender registry that's public. Their sex offender registry is private.
Really? So is it kind of just like their phone book? Like it's just...
It's like a government, only the government knows. So like if, whatever, rabbi, whatever, does something with a kid, he doesn't have to be on a public registry where they can look up if he's ever done anything in the past. There, they keep it all secret. And it just makes me put my head in my hand and just shake my head, because the future of our country, like right now, people are getting, how do I even say this? People are losing trust in it, even though we already lost trust. But there's no worse way to gain our trust back than to let a pedophile go. So I'm really frustrated.
I think personally, there's one way we can fix this. We need to get Chris Hansen on the Defense Department. Make him the head of it. Because this guy basically got caught in a Chris Hansen sting. This is a textbook Chris Hansen sting.
It is. That's exactly what it was.
He was waiting in the kitchen for the cookies and just checking computer networks and shit. Like, this is crazy.
And it's funny you say that, because like in the story, according to Tom, and there's different sources that are saying this, that Tom said that the person that he was texting kept asking him to bring a condom. And that's classic. That's classic Chris Hansen. Okay. They always say that. What do they always say when they catch a pedophile?
He always comes with some like two weird problems, like a condom and a pizza at the same time.
It's always a McDonald's or a Domino's pizza. And they're like, sir, why do you have condoms if you're not here for sex? You're like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, those are always great. I love it.
I love it. So Chris Hansen and Alex Rosen. Alex Rosen right now is the top pedophile poacher in the game. I would love to get Alex Rosen on the case to go confront this guy or to expose it. But once again, we have a weird justice system where pedophiles, oftentimes, even when they're charged with the crime, they're often given probation. And it's weird how somebody gets a DUI, which is obviously bad. It's dangerous. I'm not pro DUI, but I would say a DUI is a lot less worse than molesting a kid, and the punishment seems harsher a lot of times for people that might get caught drunk driving or even smoking weed or doing drugs for that instance. I mean, there's people that are serving life in prison or 10 to 20 years for doing cocaine or doing methamphetamines, but a guy tries to have sex with a child and we give him a get out of jail free card, and the State Department saying we're aware of it, but we didn't do anything to intervene. No, maybe you should intervene. Maybe you should say, hey, this guy's a top level person. If RFK was over in Israel diddling kids, I think that would be a big news story. But I'm also frustrated because the mainstream media has not covered this one iota. Everybody that's talked about it is the local Fox channel, and they're not giving any information. You don't have Fox News, you don't have CNN. Luckily, The Blaze shared an article, but I don't know how much. I'm saying we've just shared one article. I don't know how many other hosts have talked about it, because it is a very controversial topic, because there's only one country that exists that we're not allowed to talk about or criticize, and I don't like that. So what do you feel about the censorship in criticizing Israel? Does that frustrate you as a comedian, that you probably can't make jokes about Israel without getting canceled?
I'm not at the level yet of being canceled, but I can definitely see. I've seen like people in like yarmulkes and shit in the back of shows, and I know they're a big deal.
Yeah, if they have a yarmulke, they're rich.
Yeah, they're VIP.
Don't mess with that yarmulke. Now, I want to play full screen number 6. What is Marjorie Taylor Greene's statement? And Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling for the immediate return of Israeli cybersecurity official and alleged sex criminal Tom Alexandrovich, and says he was only allowed to flee the United States due to Israel's significant influence over the U.S. Well, welcome to Obviousville, and I'm not, saying that disrespectful to Marjorie, but I mean, I just don't know how there are not more mainstream outlets talking about this. And like I was watching the Patrick Bet-David podcast, they had a clip about it, and Adam Sosnick is such a douche. He was like basically defending this and saying, well, why aren't we talking about the other 6 people that got arrested? Because the other 6 people don't work for Benjamin Netanyahu that are blowing up children while they're trying to get food aid. That's why. And we're in a serious proxy war with Hamas, basically. We're in a proxy war with the Ukraine. If Vladimir Zelensky's right-hand man was trying to diddle kids in Las Vegas, how big of a story would that be? If Vladimir Putin's right-hand cybersecurity director was trying to have sex with a 15-year-old in Las Vegas, how big of a story would that be? It would be freaking huge. But since he's from a country that had the Holocaust, which the Holocaust is bad, apparently, but what I'm saying is obviously it was really bad, and you're telling me that because he's from Israel, that we're going to hold him to a lesser standard than you would hold Putin's assistant to, that you would hold Vladimir Zelensky's assistant to, that if a Palestinian, imagine if a Hamas guy was trying to diddle a kid, Laura Loomer wouldn't shut the fuck up. One Israeli guy does it, that's Benjamin Netanyahu's person, she won't say a fucking word. Any comment?
No, I just like that I came in on a light subject for today. Early, they was like, hey, we need a comedian for this. And I was like, yeah, I'm your guy.
Yeah, you are. You are our guy, yeah. Well, I'm happy that I can bring you down with me when I get eventually canceled for this episode.
I'm so fly, I'm aligned with the planes. My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself